Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. We are in the last day of October. Like I said, October literally pulled up, gave a head nod, and now it's already gone. This month has flown by. But also, happy Halloween. If you got any young ones who are going to be trick or treating, make sure that y'all bundle up tonight because it is going to be cold. It is already cold here in the morning. It took me about 10 minutes to defrost my car. I was about to say, man, break out the hot chocolate. It is so cold outside, man. You could put on the Vaseline, the lotion, that gust of wind gonna hit you. Your hands are still gonna be ashy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But with that being said, welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. Whether you are tuning in through audio or podcast, we just want to say thank you for turning your dials to NIM today for your relevant commentary and call to action news. Or if you're tuning in through Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, we just want to say thank you for all your support. And let us know how the month of October has treated you. How has the month of October treated you as we get ready to journey into the new month of November? Good morning, Miss Adrian, who is tuning in through YouTube. She says, smash that like button. Please sure to smash that like button, y'all, and tell your friends that you're tuning into News in Motion, especially if this is your first time tuning in to News in Motion with us. We just want to say good morning to you. Or if you're catching the replay, whether it be in the afternoon, the evening, or in the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for all your support. Good morning, Miss Deborah Johnson, tuning in through Facebook. She said, where did this month go? Listen, it literally zoomed right past us. It was October 1st, like literally 3 weeks ago, and now it's the end of the month. Good morning, Mr. Robert Holman. Good morning, Miss Marianne Jackson. Good morning, Miss Shirley Nicholson. And good morning, Miss Regina Shorts. So, without further delay, y'all know what we do over here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Picking up where Isaiah left off, I see Yvonne Gardner in here on YouTube. I see Deborah Sneed on Facebook. I see Lori Wallace. Good morning, Lori, on Facebook. I see Jackie also coming in on YouTube. So good morning to all of you. Yes, Lori, happy Tuesday to you as well. Y'all, we have a lot of news to cover this morning, so we're going to see how far we can go. Let's see. Lori is saying that her son Moses is over here jamming to that music. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, Moses. How are you? I want you to have a great day at school today as well. Lori, Moses is in what grade? So we can give him a shout out today. Got to shout out our young people. Absolutely have to shout out our young people. All right, y'all. Today is Tuesday. It is Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. I am your host, Gail Dudley. If this is the first time that you have decided to join us, I see Dr. Antoinette coming in here as well. He's in the fourth grade and he said, thank you. Well, happy fourth grade day to you in this fall season, Moses. So glad that you are hanging out with the News in Motion family. We love you. We love you. We love you. We hope you had a great football season, I believe, and that all is well with that. Good morning, Sardinia. Good morning to you. All right, y'all, we have a lot of news to cover, a lot of news to cover. So we got to do what we do and jump in here and get started. All right, y'all, the UAW's big strike against all big three has ended. Yes. Ending the 6 week strike, GM said it was costing them $200 million per week. And I guess they decided, look, they're not coming back in here, so we better end this thing right here and right now. So General Motors reached a tentative agreement with the United Auto Workers to end the 6 week old strike with similar terms in a deal signed by that was signed by Ford Motor Company on October 25th. So all of that's coming to an end. But you have other people saying, well, if it worked for UAW workers, maybe it'll work for us. So CNN reports that employees at some of the largest drugstore chains in the United States have staged a series of walkouts that started on yesterday. They began to walk out on yesterday from CVS and Walgreens Pharmacy. They said they're demanding that the company fix what employees say are harsh working conditions, and that it makes, I want y'all to hear this piece right here. Well, thank you, Yvonne. That it makes it difficult for them. I want y'all to hear this piece. It makes it difficult for them to safely fill prescriptions. Say, what? That's what they're saying, and that's why they're walking out. And they're saying from the pharmacists that these things could cause a health challenge and put customers at risk. So what's going on behind the scenes back there where you're filling our prescriptions? To where you're walking out saying this is a harsh place to fill prescription and is putting the safety of our customers at risk. What? So y'all, yeah, so they walked out and they're demanding a change. So maybe just like the food and drug regulation when it goes to the restaurants, maybe they need to up it for the pharmacy, maybe. So y'all, this is just getting interesting. This is getting interesting. Um, y'all like this sweater? Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all should know by now. I like different. I like different. All right, y'all. AP News and CNN reports that Prime Minister Netanyahu has said no to ceasefire. He's like, absolutely not. He says in a quote, calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas. He said he's not going to do that. And then in the U.S., we have President Biden and in the Biden administration saying that it is taking action to combat anti-Semitism on college campuses. Now, this comes a day after Jewish students at Cornell were threatened with violence. Everybody just breathe. Everybody be still. Just everybody just take your time. What's up, Susan? Good morning to you. Just everybody just chill, okay? Now, y'all, it is becoming more difficult. I want y'all to hear this story. We have book banning, which we've been hearing about over the past 2 to 3 years, maybe longer. We have isolation of writers, content writers, freelance writers, authors, people who are not the norm genre that we're putting out there. There are royalty cuts when it comes to KDP, which is Amazon, which comes to Ingram, which is one of the largest book distribution companies. Well, Deadline is reporting. I want y'all to hear this too. Deadline is reporting that Parliament has completed a 1.62 billion, that's with the B, sale of book publisher Simon and Schuster. Now, this is huge. To an investment firm called KKR. Nearly a year after they had a more hefty sale to Penguin Random House, ran around over regulatory issues. All right. Now, this was an all cash transaction, and it was announced this past August, which makes Simon and Schuster a standalone private company and the only, I want y'all to hear this, the only independent major trade publisher. Why am I sharing that this morning? Well, there's already difficulty for Black and Brown people to find a literary agent, number one, and to find a traditional publishing house, number two, that will accept them. So it led to more and more Black and Brown people going into self publishing. And so then you had boutique publishing houses that popped up about 20, 25 years ago. I'm one of them that popped up to try to help navigate Black and Brown people through this medium. Well, with this happening, it kind of begins to separate us even more. And it's interesting. Y'all know I do an inspirational message every day here on News in Motion. And over a year ago, I had a dream to start putting together a community, which is now has launched in October. It launched. It's called Manuscripts and Mimosas. Today, I know why it took so long to put it together, and I now have a better understanding why I wanted to do this. And it's going to be needed more now than even a year ago when I first dreamt of it. So, After having 25 years experience, I'm speaking of myself, in the media platform, again, it took me a year to develop manuscripts and mimosas. Now, if you are a content writer, if you are a freelance writer, a blogger, an author thinking about writing a book, join manuscripts and mimosas. I'm going to tell you why. It is now with this deal going through, it is becoming more difficult, even through KDP, to get your stuff out there. Yes, you can upload and you can post it. And that's going to be along with another 2 million and something books, sometimes 3 million and something books that are already out there. So you're going to need a medium where people come together and to help push your content out there. Okay. Well, then yesterday, and I'm going to just brag on myself. Good morning, Kim Edmondson. Yesterday, I received the shock of my life. I really did as an author. I received this following email. Congratulations, you're verified. Verified? What? I get a blue check somewhere? Your book is featured on your profile, and you do receive the blue book author badge, which is the blue check that will appear next to your name across Medium. Y'all, Medium is where I put all my blogs, all my articles, everything out there. I've been on Medium for years. Okay, Medium is shared with some of the most amazing best-selling authors. Former President Barack Obama is on Medium, okay? And it is difficult to get a blue check on that medium. I received one yesterday. I mean, I went and had to go look at it myself, and it's there. Y'all, this is after, and this is what's important. This is after 20 years of book publishing, more than 20 years of book publishing for authors, 14 books, now 15, 5 years of Ready Publication, which is an international print magazine, and 3+ years of news in motion. And when they sent that entire email and they highlighted each one of those things, I'm like, God's hand is always on you, and he's always right on time. Because with that type of recognition, manuscripts and mimosas take all of us to another level. So if you're in that community, imagine the connections I can make with everyone. So y'all join now. We have our next live coming this Friday, and we have a woman who has 30 plus books in the New York Times best-selling author. She's one herself, and she's going to be talking about pitching to these traditional publishing houses and to literary agents. So even if you're thinking about it, you want to join. So there's the link for you to join. We will also put it in the chat so that you can easily assess it. Click on it and join. For December, I can tell you now, we have someone coming in from the film industry who's going to talk about writing scripts, and you're writing scripts for media platform that will go for podcasting, that will go for films, and that will also go for broadcasting. So if you're even thinking about that, join Manuscripts and Mimosas. Believe me, it's cheaper to join that community than to work one-on-one with someone. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Thank you all for the congratulations. All right, so now let's go into AI. And again, I want to thank Dr. Antoinette, who went into the briefing space yesterday with the White House administration, Biden administration. She and I talked a few moments on yesterday, and I want to take our time working through this because this will affect all of us. So I do have the fact sheet from the White House that I want to go over. And I want to start with talking about Politico. So Politico reports that it's just, first of all, it's a big week of artificial intelligence when it comes to Washington, D.C. Everyone's talking about it. Now, the Biden administration has taken the most significant actions yet. On yesterday, he signed an executive order. He signed an executive order. You know, those things don't come lightly. All right. And which means that there's some things that are creeping up that made him want to put this together and to sign this executive order. So, here's a few items that's on here. Direct federal agencies to both deploy AI and guard against its possible bias. It creates new safety guidelines and industry standards. It invokes the Korean War Air Defense Protection Act to track companies developing the most powerful AI systems. It directs each federal agency to create a position to a chief AI officer. So I don't know if Mike Nicholson's on here, but that might be a job for you, okay? And it directs federal agencies to set guidelines on how they collect, use, and share personal information obtained from data brokers and encouraging agencies to adopt stronger privacy protections. Again, this is coming from Politico, and they were in this briefing as well. So, starting tomorrow, Vice President Kamala Harris will represent the White House in England for a global summit on AI. Now, there's more details that are coming out, but before I do that, I got to tell you about the Instagram post from former President Barack Obama. He said, artificial intelligence has the potential to change the way we work, learn, and create. I'm glad to see that at Pontius, President of the United States, Biden signed an executive order on AI designed to encourage innovation while avoiding some of the biggest risks. Congress should follow his lead and look at this executive order for opportunities to fund work. Okay. So let me just give y'all some of the things that came out of it. Number one, this is huge, and Dr. Antoinette shared this with me on yesterday during our conversation. There will now be you should now look for a watermark, and the watermark on AI will say to you, this has been vetted, that this is correct. So hopefully they'll get this in the work sooner than later. They're talking 2025, but hopefully they can bring this before the 2024 when we're going into that election season. So some of the things they're talking about with the new AI standards, safety and security, they're going to require that developers of most powerful AI systems share their safety test results and other critical information with the US government. So they're asking, like, we want to see that you've tested this and that this is okay. Another one is like develop standard tools and tests to ensure that the AI system is safe, secure, and trustworthy. Now, yeah, it's really interesting how they unpack all of this, and that goes back to that watermark that Dr. Antoinette shared with me after she attended this briefing. Protect against the risk of using AI to engineer dangerous biological materials. Protect Americans from AI enabled fraud and deception by establishing standards and best practices. Establish an advanced cybersecurity program to develop AI tools to find and fix vulnerabilities in critical software. Order the development of national security memorandum that directs further actions on AI and security. So this is just the tip of it when we're talking about safety and security, but they go on. They're talking about protecting Americans' privacy. Now, here's the thing that I want to share with all of you, and I'm taking my time here, so just hold on because this is information we need. This information in its complete detail will be on the Friday rundown, which is the e-newsletter, the electronic newsletter. You have to sign up for it. It is free. It is free, people. Just go to www.gaildudley.com and sign up. So hopefully Isaiah can put the website up there and you all can see that. So www.gaildudley.com. Pop-up box will come up there. You just subscribe. Subscribe is free. And then the Friday rundown, there will be a link for this. It's probably going to be about 20 pages, but you can go through that and highlight what's important for you. Yes, Kim Edmondson, I'm glad they're taking it seriously as well. So, in reading some of this, if I can just back up just a moment, in reading some of this, the reason they are putting these measures in place, kind of like blew me away when I was reading it. The things that are already happening, the number of disinformation and misinformation that's already out there, the images, the voiceovers that are already out there that are not real. They are not. They're all performed from AI. Your bank account. Okay, there was already a fight with emails coming to you that were spam from your bank account or credit card or health department or whatever. They're talking about the number of things that are already out there that people have clicked on, tapped onto, and realized they're not real. So yeah, you have to really, for a while, you have to take your own precautions and say, do I want to click on this or do I want to pick up the phone and call? But even in doing that, make sure you are calling the number based upon the package you received from your bank or your credit card, and not necessarily Google, because the algorithm could have picked up the false Capital One or Citibank card or American Express or whatever. So we have to do our due diligence, y'all. It's just more than a click these days. It's way more than a click these days. You have to do the work to get to it. Um, Jackie says, I'm with you, Gail. It's good to know that they're taking steps to protect us. Yes, yes, yes. And that was Kim Edmondson that put that out there. So, y'all, it talks about protect against the risk of using AI to engineer dangerous biological materials. So, then protecting Americans' privacy. This is where y'all should like get real close and say, what's she getting ready to say about privacy? Because reading this, Dr. Antoinette, I don't know how it was like when you were in that briefing, but reading this, I'm like, wide eye. Like, what is going on? Protect Americans' privacy by prioritizing federal support for accelerating the development and use of privacy preserving techniques, strengthening privacy preserving research and technologies, evaluate how agencies collect and use commercially available information, strengthening privacy guidelines for federal agencies, and developing guidelines for federal agencies to evaluate the effectiveness for privacy preserving techniques. Now, let me get down to the nitty gritty of what I just said, y'all. Advancing equity and civil rights. I'm like, so now it's a civil rights issue? Like, what's happening? Wow. Y'all, blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights is issuing an executive order directing agencies to combat algorithmic discrimination. What? So, y'all, our algorithm and the discrimination in algorithm and the input and the output. Y'all, this is a real thing and it's happening right now. We should be extremely concerned. To ensure that AI advances equity and civil rights, the president directs the following additional actions. Y'all, he set aside three major actions that I thought it was fitting to share right here on News in Motion. Number one, provide clear guidance to landlords, federal benefits programs, and federal contractors. This is to keep AI algorithm from being used to exacerbate discrimination. To exacerbate discrimination. This is happening. Dr. Antoinette says, and again, she was in that briefing. She said they spent a lot of time on the AI Bill of Rights, especially related to civil rights. Listen, Dr. Antoinette, when I was reading through all these pages, I started highlighting. I was shocked. I was like, what is happening? I mean, there was a lot of questions I started raising, and I'm sure you raised them as well. It says address at the algorithmic discrimination through training, technical assistance, and coordination between the Department of Justice, y'all, the federal civil rights offices on best practices for investigating and prosecuting civil rights violations related to AI. So that means we've been a target, Black and Brown people. That means we've been a target, anyone who's in the LGBTQIA uh, uh, in that arena. That means disabled people have been a target. Yeah, we've been a target. Even in the formation of building artificial intelligence, AI, we've been a target. Let me keep going. I'm just curious. Any other news source giving y'all this information? I just want to know if y'all have heard these details on any other news source. Just put it in the chat. I'm just curious to know if anybody else is giving you all this information. It also ensures, number three, ensures fairness throughout the criminal justice system. How is AI connected to the criminal justice system? I'm glad you asked. They doing this by developing best practices on use of AI in sentencing. Wait, y'all use AI in sentencing people? Is that where we're going? A computer's going to determine what happens next for you? Really? We doing that? You got that much information to determine a person's sentence? Can AI sentence the former guy real quick? Y'all, parole and probation, pretrial release and detention, risk assessment, surveillance, crime forecasting, and predictive policing and forensic analysis. Say what? Y'all, those three things I read right there should make you want to begin researching and getting a better understanding of what's happening and why it was important for the President of the United States to sign an executive order, and one specifically, he signed two yesterday, one specifically for the civil rights piece. Yes. Yes, Kim Edmondson, this is unbelievable. Yes. Again, this will be in the Friday rundown, so you can read it at your leisure and go and do your own research and Googling and pulling out from there. Mike Nicholson says, watch the movie Vanilla Sky. And then Dr. Antoinette also said we should watch the series called Upload. I think she said it was on Amazon Prime. So, y'all, I'm not through all of it, but it talks about standing up for consumers, patients, and students. Yeah, that's a part of it. Supporting workers, that's a part of it. And I'm not even reading the details of those. Promoting innovation and competition, advancing American leadership abroad, ensuring responsible and effective government use of AI. And it goes on, talks about hiring, how AI is determining who's best for that position. What? That's what, so no, we don't go into an office and talk to anybody anymore and then able to tell them what's on our resume and why we are the best person for the position. AI is going to determine who's hired for a position. Y'all, this is what's happening. So even when we're talking about voting, again, get for you if you want the full download, make sure you sign up for the rundown. The Friday rundown with Gail. Go to www.gaildudley.com. A pop-up box will come there and say subscribe. Just subscribe. It's free. We give you nothing but content on that email. Nothing but content. Yeah, there's some offers that are out there, but the content alone is worth you getting this seriously. So, y'all, that just gives you an overview. I tried to zoom in on some of the highlights that I wanted to share with you, but y'all, this is important. And believe it or not, we're going to be voting for this in 2024. Okay. When I say voting for this, we got to consider the people we're putting into office and what they think and feel about so many things. Going back to book banning, going back to royalty cuts, going back to our work, civil rights, just all of that, y'all. These things are on the ballot. Democracy will be on the ballot in 2024. So, even with what I just shared with you, looking at social media for a moment, Dr. Antoinette said they use programs to look for certain words when we apply for government jobs. So there's that, y'all. They're looking for words. They're looking for words. So for some of us, and y'all know I've been this person who want to stay away from AI. I better start learning how to use AI so that I know how to find my for the RSS feed or RRS feed, whatever it is, Mike. You can tell me in Google that my algorithm, I need to learn it so that I'm positioning myself. The same thing is why I'm asking you all to join, to come alongside News in Motion so that we can get the right people in and have the right software so that we can keep bringing you factual news. That's what I pride myself on. Mike Nicholson says they've been using AR for finding job candidates. So these things are out here. Yes, thank you for Dr. Antoinette. So y'all, what I just read is up there now. So y'all, don't be so quick to buy something. So The Verge is reporting that X, formerly known as Twitter, is now worth less than half of what Elon Musk paid to buy Twitter last year. A memo and then the stock options and all that are out there to the board, to the employees, to the uh, uh, I said stock options. Um, they're saying it's now valued at 19 billion. Remember, he bought it for 44 billion. That's what a B. So it's 55% less. Now, if you ask me, everybody knew that Twitter wasn't worth $44 billion, but he paid it because he wanted to make a statement. But now here's the question that I have for you after reading all this about algorithm and AI and what I just shared with you in that limited time there. Did Elon know the depth of AI? You kind of think he would, right? So, what was his real purpose for buying it? And we need to start looking at him when we're looking at the 2024 elections, too. Not that he's running for any office, but who is he giving money to? We got to start following some of the things that he's doing. I don't feel bad for him either, Kim. We got to start following some of the things that he's doing so we get an understanding and we get a pulse of what's happening. So, there's also a warning when it comes to AI. And AP News did this amazing report after the briefing yesterday with the White House. And I want y'all to pay attention to this, especially if you have children or grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or whomever. Now, the AI generated child sexual abuse image is beginning to flood the internet. Again, they can take your image, they can take your voice, they can take anything. So y'all start asking questions when you see things like, is this authentic? Is this real? Is this, or is this a fake? Now it's already alarming. In a written report, the UK-based Internet Watch Foundation urges governments and technology providers to act quickly before a flood of AI generated images of child sexual abuse overwhelms law enforcement, investigators, and vastly expands the pool of potential victims. Y'all, again, this is coming straight from AP News. Now, they're saying in a quote, we're not talking about the harm it might do. And this is coming from Dan Sexton. He said this is the Watchdog Group Chief Technology Officer. And I looked him up. He's way up there. Okay. He's been following this, watching this for extremely, I think it was 3 decades, 3 or 4 decades at this point. He says in the quote, and continuing the quote, this is happening right now. And it needs to be addressed right now. He says that even in some cases, children have adopted this app, has that they are using this app at school in southwestern Spain. Police have been investigating teens' use of a phone app to make their fully dressed schoolmates appear nude in photos. This is what's happening with AI, y'all. This is what's happening. It says the report exposes a dark side of the race to build generative AI systems that enable users to describe in words what they want to produce before they're able to produce them. They're saying in this app, even in adults can see someone take your picture from their phone and make you appear nude or make you appear to be wearing offensive clothing, can make you appear to do whatever they want to do. This is what we're doing with these phones we're walking around with. Something that we thought, oh, good, we have a phone. We can use it anytime at all, whenever for emergencies. And we've gone to social media and we've gone to, oh, I can just pay for things with this. Was doing this too. Got to share all the news, right? So, in addition to this, talking about children, I also want to flip over and talk about this TikTok challenge with children. Listen, if you jump in front of a moving car for a TikTok challenge and you break a leg, break an arm, whatever, you're responsible for that. They're now going after drivers of people, and they're telling drivers, be mindful if you see children in groups, slow down or stop because one of them are probably about to jump out in front of your car. Come on. Seriously? That's what we're doing now? You will get hit. You could die. Are you winning millions of dollars for this challenge? What is this really about? So TikTok is saying that they're not responsible for this challenge, but they're even calling with this AI piece, they're calling on the social media sites to have stricter rule standards and accountability when it comes to these things. Like pull these things down. Don't let these things continue to float around. This is what they're doing, y'all. This is what's happening. So, not to make it real heavy today, but I thought this information I needed to share, break down, and give it to you. Do with it what you want. But y'all, we need to start having these conversations. This is serious. This is serious. So again, Friday rundown, you can get it. The next live manuscripts and mimosas. Again, I have someone from the New York Times best-selling author, and she has coached more than 30 authors who are New York Times best-selling authors. She will be joining us on Friday. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Now, some of you say, well, that's my lunch, or I'm still working. Well, then carve out that hour from 11:30 to 12:30 Eastern, no matter what time zone you're in, and say every first Friday, I'm going to carve this time out to join this group. The other thing is, if you can't join us live, no big deal. The replay will be available for 5 days. The information you get, the digital downloads you get from that, you want to join it. You want to join it. I just gave you the reasons why when I was talking about the buyout of Simon and Schuster. I'm putting it out there, y'all. So say what you want, but let's learn some lessons here as well. I told y'all this is going to be a heavy day. Kim Kardashian, CNN Business, and the NBA reports that Kim Kardashian's 4 billion with a B underwear company Skims debuted its first men's collection last week. The NBA and Skims announced a multi-year deal yesterday that makes Skims the official underwear partner of NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball. That girl did that. I want you to read an article, and Isaiah's going to put the link in the chat so that all of you can read. I want you to read that full article. And I want us to start shifting our mindset as to how we do business and how we go about partnering and collaborating to build that business mindset, to put it out there. Yes, she did that thing, Lori. She did. And so that link is out there from NBA.com. Read that. It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. Do not despise small beginnings. I know many of you will say, well, she has a platform, keeping up with the Kardashians. But even with that, to using Davia's word, to pivot to what she's doing now, that didn't come from that. Kim is making big moves. You're right, Kim Edmondson. She is making some serious moves. And we have to stop wanting people to fit what we think they should be doing or how we think they should be handling things. We need to stop that. So let me go back to the announcement I made yesterday where I asked you all 3 questions. I don't know if Latrice Jones is on here or not this morning, but I talked to her after the show after I got an email from someone, and I won't name you, so you're cool. I'm not going to name you. But people asked the question, why should I pay for news? And I was like, well, it's up to you if you want to pay for it or not. I said, I'm not even asking you to pay for news. I'm asking you to come alongside News in Motion and invest in the work that we're doing. I said, so let me just make this clear for everybody. If you pay cable, the cable bill, you're paying for news. You're paying for every show you're watching. And many of us get mad because there's repeats all over the place. Or we say there's nothing on television. Or even with streaming. With everything that's at our hands, we still complain about. So you do pay for it. The reason we have cut the sponsors that we cut, for example, Target, when we had Target, because they wanted us to take away the inspirational message. They wanted us to stop mentioning Jesus. They wanted us to stop giving a scripture. They wanted us to stop that. I wasn't willing to do that. For those who don't mind the inspirational message, they want us to lean towards the former guy, not against the former guy. I'm not doing that. So, what we are trying to do is to remain independent. And when you're trying to remain independent, you have to ask. Or we do the things that we put out there, like manuscripts and mimosas and different things that you actually get a product. But we are asking you to come alongside us. I want to give you this number. If every person who listened, whether live or replay, would give $1 a month, that will take care of everything we need. But they're not doing that. We get on the average 5 to 6 people who continuously give to News in Motion. Honestly, there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. So, once again, we're asking you to consider it. If you're receiving anything from this platform, say, well, let me at least buy them a cup of coffee. Our Cash App name has changed because I've gone away from the MIM today. It's the NIM, which stands for News in Motion. Sorry, Isaiah, I threw that on you. It's the NIM today. So News in Motion. So NIM today. So throw a Cash App or inbox us and we will send you a letter that gives you our income and expense so that you can see where we are and what is happening. We're also partnering with people. Kim's husband, Al Edmondson, and I sent him something last week. We've been talking the past day and a half. We're working on something, trying to get something out in the next 24 hours. There are things that we're doing to try to close the gap because Y'all, 2024 is too important, and that's the problem I'm having. I care about the community so much. I'm like, we can't disappear before the end of 2024 election because this is the place that's giving the content. So y'all, that's why we do what we do. So when we see a Kim Kardashian, we see a what's his name? Who's the guy? The NBA the retired NBA player who's now in the billionaire club, Magic Johnson. When we see their due diligence and what they're doing, yeah, we want to go buy a pizza from Papa John's, but y'all, that's not where he got all of his money. His investments are major. So go to a Hester Jackson or Kim Edmondson to learn, invest in that, and learn about budgeting and building and all of that. Dr. Annette says, and we'll be wrapping up in a minute. She says, when you have cable, you sign up to pay for their selection of channel options and not necessarily the news and channel choices you prefer, and pay additional for things you want that are not in the chosen package. You're absolutely correct. Marion says, if you pay for cable, you're paying for news. When you buy newspaper, you're paying for news. You are absolutely correct. And Dr. Net also says, we all have a platform, just have to be still. Look within at your passion and purpose. You're correct there as well. All right. So, yes, I have it. Magic Johnson. Forbes says Magic Johnson is worth 1.2 billion. He's the fourth athlete to cross the 9-0 threshold after fellow NBA stars Michael Jordan and LeBron James and golfer Tiger Woods. Y'all, only 40 million of that comes from his basketball career. It turns out that his investment, y'all, he's been banking and putting money into sports teams, Starbucks, movie theaters, Burger King, 24-hour fitness, and he has a controlling stake in the Iowa-based life insurer Equa Trust. So he has diversified. That is so good. I'll put that in the Friday rundown as well so that you can read that. And finally, this is the inspirational message, but it's going to be fun with this since it is October 31st. Y'all, did you know if you had a student loan, you can go to Donato's and get a free medium pizza? Yes. Did y'all know that? So, y'all, student loans, they're saying student loans aren't fun, but we're here to make them a little better with the free Donato's. They call it emergency pizza. I'm sorry, not Donato's, Domino's. Woo, forgive me. It's Domino's, not Donato's. Domino's is giving away $1 million worth of free emergency pizzas because they're like, they don't want you to have to suffer with this whole thing with paying back your student loan. If they've already reached their threshold for the day, you'll see a pop up that says, sorry, you'll have to come back tomorrow for a free pizza. We've reached our limit on free pizzas today, but come back. And this goes all the way to the end of the year. And they say, you don't have a student loan, we're not going to ignore you. They're saying the emergency pizza isn't just for student loans, it's for any pizza emergency. Whether you have burned dinner, you stubbed your toe, or anything in between, we think you deserve an emergency pizza. Yeah, this is the best marketing thing I've ever seen in my life. And then it talks about they're here to the rescue. They said, burnt dinner, just take a picture, let us know you burned your dinner. You're at a study group and you're like, we need a pizza. Um, your Wi-Fi just kind of like falls out on you, show up and be like, my Wi-Fi, I couldn't get it. You can get a pizza. So why is this the inspirational message? Sometimes, y'all, we just have to have fun to get through the next day. And sometimes we just have to say, you know what? Forget making money today. Let me bless somebody today, whatever that looks like and how that looks. So it's here though. Y'all can go to dominoes.com and see what's out there. You can sign up to get that free medium pizza. Now, you can't get it today. They said you cannot get it today and you cannot get it December 31st, being New Year's Eve. So, not today, being what people call Halloween, and not December 31st, which is New Year's Eve. But any other time up until then, until they run out of the $1 million, you can subscribe, you can apply for free Domino's pizza, a medium 2-topping pizza. So, y'all, again, give from your heart. Think about everyone that's around you and not just yourself. All right, y'all, that's all we have for today. I have enjoyed giving this episode with all the information we have given. So couple things, y'all, sign up for manuscripts and mimosas. Again, Isaiah will put that link up there. If not, you can just go to gaildeli.com and then hit that. Again, Friday is going to be phenomenal when it comes to manuscripts and mimosas. Consider this AI, sign up for the free e-newsletter. And if you're like, you know what, we just want to come alongside News in Motion, we want to keep them on the air to give us factual information, let us know. Cash app us, do whatever you want to do. We want to be here to help out and to serve. So, y'all continuously move forward, make those forward motions, make bold moves. And Isaiah's like jamming in the green room. So, he got some kind of music in his head. Continuously make bold moves, and y'all live your life in abundance. We're out.
News in motion.